Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Having a wonderful day. We're discussing the case of Sebastian Rogers. He's a 15-year-old autistic boy when he disappeared on February 26, 2024, and he has not been seen by video. He hasn't been seen by a private citizen, and there has been no scent dogs to track his location, but we are told that he disappeared and last seen on February 26th. This child disappeared from inside an alleged locked home that has no signs of forced entry and no signs of him leaving the home. This tale started on February 26 when a call came in to the Sumner County non-emergency dispatch line around 6:33 in the morning. It was learned that Sebastian Wayne Rogers, an autistic and medically needy boy, seemingly walked out of his home and was never seen again. At least that's what we are led to believe. By February 27th in the afternoon, an Amber Alert was issued for Sebastian Wayne Rogers, alleging that there's a possibility of an abduction of this boy to have taken place. None of us were really clear at the time why this Amber Alert had surfaced, since they kept expressing that there was no possibility that led them to believe he was abducted. We fast forward to March 4th. March 4th was a critical and pivotal moment in this case, and that's when law enforcement decided to scale back their search efforts. This would have been communicated with the parents on March 3rd or before. On March 3rd, that was the first interview the mom and stepdad provided on a Duchess panel. On March 4th, they did their first mainstream media interview with WSMV. And both of those interviews were a little odd. We were unaware what had really transpired, and we were hanging on every word the mom and stepfather said. But there were some things that just didn't seem right. One of those things is their over-explanation of how he was not in trouble, and how he had not been in trouble recently, and how he had a good day, and how they just are racking their brains and can't figure out why he would run away from home. Seth Rogers, the biological father of Sebastian Wayne Rogers, went to media and started expressing some concerns with the statements or the story that his ex-wife was providing. He just felt like something was off. By March 18th, on the Smiley's World interview and the subsequent interviews after that, such as Nancy Grace, it was clear that there was a meltdown between the family dynamic between the mom and stepfather and with Seth Rogers, the biological father. It seemed like the family unit that Chris and Katie were trying to proclaim was so great at the time of the son's disappearance has now have many public fractures in that facade. We still have no clue where Sebastian Wayne Rogers is, but what we do know is Seth has done everything we as the public expect. He's been out there looking for his son since day one. He's provided us his alibi and the supporting documents to prove his alibi, and furthermore has done a polygraph test on the Nancy Grace show, which was publicly released, identifying that Seth Rogers passed his polygraph test. So where do we go from here? The leads lead where they lead. Let's go through some of the information. We were told that this child had no history of running away from home, yet woke up in the middle of the night one day after having an amazing weekend and took off with not even his shoes on. We learned from law enforcement that there is no scent and no video of Sebastian on it, and there have been no eyewitnesses coming forward that have seen Sebastian since the infamous video at the Texas Roadhouse Grill. We were also made to believe that his life was a very normal life, and then we learned that this mom and stepfather, while trying to conceal the information, have been trying to rehome this child as early as October 2022, and since moving into their home on Stafford Court, have had 5 CPS reports called against them from third parties such as teachers. We were told from the beginning that all parents were cooperative. They've all taken a polygraph test. They are all cleared by law enforcement. However, we learned the only person that had taken a polygraph test was Katie Proudfoot. Chris and Seth had never taken a polygraph test, And again, for months, he proclaimed he had been cleared and passed his polygraph test. The mom and stepdad also stated on many interviews they were doing everything they can. They were searching, they were posting flyers, they were putting up signs. However, their neighbors and their community stated that that was also a lie. They had not seen them. And when they questioned them about it, they got into their camper and took off. The mom and stepdad were seen eating out during search efforts. We're seeing motorcycle shopping during a vigil. And we learned that they went to a motorcycle rally while law enforcement was still searching for their son. For many of us, these are very disturbing and problematic behaviors and actions from the mom and stepdad, which is what raises red flags in our eyes and in our minds. Nothing has been stated to resolve that issue. And lastly, I also find it very concerning that Seth has provided his alibi with supporting documentation. Katie has provided her alibi, whether we believe it or not. She has provided it. The one person that has never provided us one scintilla of information related to his alibi or where he was during the time of Sebastian's disappearance is Christopher Proudfoot, the stepfather of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. And he still proclaims to this day that law enforcement has specifically told him and him alone not to reveal his timeline. Again, that's not something that is typical. Typically, the person that's the furthest away, their alibi has no relevance to the case. So since his has relevance to the case, wouldn't that conclude that he is an integral part of the Sebastian Rogers case? Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Bullhorn Betty channels on multiple platforms such as X, Instagram, Facebook, here on YouTube, and hopefully TikTok if it survives January 19th. Hey guys, Bullhorn Betty. I have breaking news related to the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers is 16 years old. However, he disappeared when he was 15 years old on February 25th, 2024, from his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee. There has been a lot of controversy in this case. However, most controversial is the lights video. What were we seeing and where were we looking? New information has come out related to the lights video and the potential viewpoints of what we could not see come to life and light. This is a very interesting piece of evidence, in my opinion, because the unscrupulous PI has been working around the clock to discredit anybody with factual information of this case and about this case. He has went as far as to prepare a report that identifies the field of view of a particular camera that picked up the lights video, trying to manipulate people in believing it happened in an area it had not. This is the latest information, and I have to say it's pretty important for everyone to check it out. Here you go.
Wall away, and now I'm going to reveal my image with the wall taken away. And now you can see the building that it's looking at, and it's a pretty good match. Now, can you figure out which building that is? It's not white, so that's a bit of a clue, isn't it? It's not one of the white buildings. It's a red building, it's got bricks. But what is this light here? We can see it. I can change it completely today in a minute, so you'll see the whole building. And these lights positioned around the sides, what could they be? So are you ready to see me turn night into day? Watch this. And this is where you're looking. And this is where you've been looking all along. These white garage doors in a line over here. And that door shining out. Probably a light on in there, something like that.
I feel this is a step in the right direction in uncovering the truth about what we saw in the early morning hours before Sebastian Waindrake Rogers was reported missing by his mother. Please let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Bullhorn Betty channels across multiple social media platforms today. Hey guys, I'm Bullhorn Betty, and this is the Bullhorn Betty channel, where we're taking a deep dive into Sebastian Waindrake Rogers. We have been covering the case since the early part of March, prior to or the day of the interview of both mom and stepdad. What we learned was there were some questionable statements made. And then we started looking into the parents, which really ruffled the feathers of the mom, more importantly, the stepdad. He felt that if we just took all the drama out of this, there's nothing here to see except a teenage boy that just simply ran away from home. That couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, this mom and stepfather has hired some of the most vile people to assist them in locating their son. From past felons that are currently committing crimes to questionable people with questionable pasts, such as substance abuse, where one of their searchers is seen in the woods utilizing substances through a straw and a dollar bill up that person's nostrils, inhaling whatever it was that he was doing. Then you have another content creator that is filthy, which again is just representation of the people that they hire to assist them. And then lastly, one of the main supporters of the mom and stepdad has now 2 new civil actions against her, one for child custody and another one for stalking her ex-pregnant girlfriend. So, and then after that, an incident report came about where she or her other daughter put bruises on her youngest daughter's throat. Again, this just kind of embodies the type of people that are representing Sebastian's mom and stepfather. While I never criticize anybody's past, because let's face it, we all have one. It's the difference between somebody that has overcome that and has redeemed themselves versus somebody that has continuously done this throughout the pattern of their story and is continuing to do it. No redemption, no remorse, just continuing the same bad behavior over and over again, expecting different results. Sebastian Waindrake Rogers deserves better than this. He deserves the right type of people searching for him and looking for him. There has been a lot of statements made from the mom and the stepfather, predominantly the stepfather, Chris Proudfoot. And I've got to say, the inconsistency, the anger, the vitriol, and the threats and intimidation that he has posed to just about anybody and everybody searching for his son, his stepson, has me very, very, very concerned, including my own arrest. For what? For doing my job and speaking out against him, as well as law enforcement in the area. This makes you take a back seat because you see parents that are spending more time trying to shut my mouth than they are searching for their own missing child that disappeared from their own home. Why? That is the question we should be all asking ourselves, is why. We're going to be going over this case a little more in depth. I hope you stay tuned. We have a lot to discuss and a new case to bring up. I thank you all for being here. I hope you take the time before we start to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please consider doing so.
If you would like to help me with my legal expenses, or just to support the efforts that we're doing, we have a variety of ways that you can contribute. From the GoFundMe to help me fight specifically with my legal expenses. We have Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. We have an Amazon wish list if you just want to give me a thank you item or buy something special for the Lila. Again, this is truly a family, and we've truly come together for the sake of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. And we're going to continue to fight for him. And we're going to continue to expose the mom and stepdad's weird behaviors and inconsistent statements. And we're going to expose those around them that are doing nefarious things to prevent the search or Sebastian being found. I hope you guys support all the creators that have come together to say no to this nonsense and to keep Sebastian first and foremost. God bless each and every one of you watching this, and have a great day.
What we do know as fact, however, is that Seth has been searching for his son ever since his son disappeared. Seth has publicly taken a polygraph. He has publicly produced his work records. This man has done everything he could possibly do, including working with the FBI, working with me to advocate for his son, calling on the national media, getting Nick the Hat and Dog the Bounty Hunter, and we're here with what from the mom and stepfather? Nothing for almost 10 months. Shoddy searches at best, working with an unscrupulous PI, felons, and including one searcher utilizing substances, illicit substances, while searching for their son. That's because there ain't no sheeps here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. I'm sorry. You know, I've got to be honest with you. A brown-eyed girl got me this. It came yesterday, right? And I'm running around here and I'm like, oh crap, do I have batteries? I had batteries. And you know, I push this button. I don't know what to expect when I push this button. But I gotta be honest with you. You know how Justin for All makes his money? Do you guys know how? It's not YouTube. I know you guys think it's YouTube. No. He sells his voice. Chris! He's selling his voice. Don't tell me that is not Justin for All. I've heard him on his little skits. Justin, are you selling your voice? Are you a voice model? I just want to know, are you a voice model? Because I'm telling you, I heard the chicken song. I heard the chicken dance or whatever the heck you guys talk it. You know, we have another person that likes dancing with chickens on toilets, but we're not going to compare you to him. We're just comparing your voice. I don't know. That sounds. Let me pull that up. Let's do the chicken dance. Isn't that what it's called? Let's go over here and check this out. I didn't even pull this up before, but I'm dying here. Okay, I'm dying here. Let's go over to Justin. Let's go over to Clutch the Pearls. Them pearls. Clutch. I always write the pearls instead of them pearls. Okay. I know he did. He had to have done a chicken dance last night. Let's pull this up real quick. Let me find the chicken. I know there's a chicken in here somewhere. If he didn't run a chicken dance last night, guys, you guys need to be yelling at Justin. But I know he had chicken somewhere. I'm going to find him, darn it. I remember I didn't watch last night, but I did watch the night before, and I know we had a chicken dance. I'm going to find it. I don't see the chicken dance. Ah, there it is. I found it. Tell me I'm lying. Let's listen. Don't tell me I'm lying. Let's see. We're going to do a voice test. We do this before. We've done this before. telling you, Justin for All is he's a voice model. He's a voice. This is they unless he's selling buttons on Amazon we don't know about. He might be doing that. He might be selling buttons we don't know on Amazon. Okay. I don't know, but I'm doing the voice test. Okay, guys, open your ears. We're going to do this again. Open your ears.
Ready?
Katie! Let's try it again. Hold on. Let me put my face on here so you guys can know when I'm pushing the button. When I'm pushing the button, we'll do 50-50. There we go. We're going to do this. Okay. Let's listen. Actually, I don't need 50-50. We need to do that. There we go. All right. Let's listen. Christopher! I'm telling you, as soon as I hit this button, you guys think I'm crazy. As soon as I hit this button, I'm like, where's Justin? It's the same voice. Justin, you have some explaining to do. Justin, what is this? And of course, I lose my camera. I hit this thing just right. It's so finicky. Let me get that camera back on. Good gracious. Please don't tell me I got to refresh. That would really piss me off if I have to refresh. No, I don't have to refresh, but I do have to put my background back on. Why does it drop my virtual background every blessed time? Is it not going to give me my background back without refreshing? Oh, that's going to frustrate me. Oh, well. Well, thank you, Outer Banks. Yes, I am staying snuggly, bundly in my new little flannel jacket, shirt, whatever it is. It fits just right. I'm just saying. It's a little loose, but you got it right. And you told me that. So the only thing, even the arms, I'm not like, they're not covering my hands or anything like that. So we're good. Just for argument's sake. I'm telling you, it's Justin's voice. Okay. You are not going to tell me it's not just, oh, let me see if I can do this. I know what I need to do. Let me do this one. Is my built-in camera not working now? Did I have you covered? I don't know what's going on with my cameras in StreamYard, but my cameras just went out. Hold on. Let me try to unplug and plug back in. Maybe that's what I need to do. Let's try unplugging and plugging back in. Now I've got to set my lights back on. Okay. Now you guys can't see me. I'm in a mess because I got this is the built-in camera on a $2,500 laptop. And I would say this is my photo without the. All right. Now my webcam finally turned back on and I got my virtual background back. Hallelujah. Now we got to do some lights. Can't function without lights. Lights matter in production. But we're dealing with StreamYard. But I shouldn't be running my my lights through the computer anyways. But I do. I run my lights through my computer because my computer's mobile and so are my lights. You guys can see me! Yay! It was karma for breaking the news that Justin for All is a voice model. I've got the proof in a button. Look at that. I don't know if this is the button he wants to have to own, but we see. Oh, you guys see me and hear me. Thank God. Okay, I'm done. All right, let's. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't yelling at you, honey. I'm sorry. Did I jolt you? You jolted. I felt you. Oh. And then on another note, we haven't brought out the cup in a while. You remember this, B. Betty? It says coffee is always better with you in the coffee club. Bullhorn Betty and B. Betty fan. And look at that. We are absolutely, I decided to do this whole thing. This is about as big as my face. You guys see this? This cup, I know you guys can't see it well, but this cup is about as big as my face, okay? And I'm telling you, the whole thing is full of latte. We need a latte of Betty. We got a new Betty, Coffee Bean Betty. Why we never thought of Coffee Bean Betty before today, I don't understand. How did Machete Betty get first before Coffee Bean Betty? How? How is that possible? It's all your faults. You know what I say?
Warning, bullshit alert.
That is. How did we get a Machete Betty before, and a Jailhouse Betty before Coffee Bean Betty? Or Coffee House Betty? How does that happen? We're the freaking coffee club over here. Okay, I'm done. There's been a case that we've been covering just recently, and there is some new information coming about it. Okay, now many of you guys know there is many cases such as the Layla Santinello case and others where we step in and start advocating because the local media has given up on the case. And what do I mean by that? Much like Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, if we were to leave it to local media, they've got 1,000 things going on. They got to cover, the schools. They got to cover the school lunches. They've got to cover the traffic jams, the weather. They've got a lot on their plate, right? Local media has a lot on their plate. They can't dive out, divide time and dive into cases for hours and hours and days and weeks and months on end and let that be their only primary case that they're covering. We used to have situations like that back when newspapers and tabloids were really, the go-to for information. Well, now it's social media. However, there's no designated talking head for specific cases in communities. So much like mainstream media of the past, they did a tiny little segment to talk about the victim. They have maybe 30 seconds, a minute and 15 seconds, a minute and 20 seconds to let you know every update about the case. It's just not enough. And then let you add a layer of the person not being stellar or perfect, like for an example, like Sebastian to me is a perfect victim for mainstream media. He's a 15-year-old boy. He's gotten into no trouble. He's not on drugs. He's medically needy. There's a heartstring part to that. But then you have the flip side where you have a victim like Layla Santinello, went down the wrong path. Her mom was taking care of her daughter. She was utilizing substances. She was really, really going into a dark place. It's something that mainstream media and local media really isn't jumping on the bandwagon to help this family. So much like these other cases, Trentin is a boy that wasn't a perfect boy. He's throwing up gang signs and stuff like that. And in the area of Mansfield, Ohio, they're just not really taking a whole lot of interest in the case. Are they running stories? Yes. This boy has been missing or was missing for, I think, right around 6 days, 5 or 6 days, give or take. He disappeared on November 12th, was found on November 19th. We don't know how long he was alive before he met his demise. But, because the mom was talking about these are jitterbugs, that, these are just little boys with guns, I just assumed that he must have been pew-pewed, right? He lost his life through gun violence. Well, we're learning today that that is not the case. So it's still crazy trying to figure out what is going on. But there is updates and a little name throwing out there from the aunt, which when you look at her face, you just see a woman desperate for answers. Okay. It's not that she's trying to hinder a case. It's not that she's trying to throw shade. It is a woman that wants to know who did this to her nephew and why is their butts not in jail. Okay. So without further ado, I'm just going to give this aunt a little bit of a platform to speak on. Again, I don't know these people. I just came across her case through one of my Google searches and looked into it, and it started pulling at my heartstrings. And that's the first step in being debuted on a Bullhorn Betty channel, right? That's the first step, pulling at my heartstrings. And I feel like they're not getting enough support that they need. And if there's anything I can do to help them get a little more support. Now, I don't have the ability to dive in like we're doing on the Sebastian Rogers case, but I definitely do have the ability to keep this boy's name out there until justice is served to the people that it deserves to be served to. And I hope that justice is swift and that justice is the full weight of the law. You know, I don't care, you know, if you're out there, 16-year-old, you say things, you know, you're disrespectful, you're 10 foot tall and bulletproof. You're a rough, tough cream puff. I went through these stages. I know a lot of people in my audience probably went through the stages. You know, I went through the stages of being a cutie pie, you know, with the cute little dresses down to I had my baggy clothes with my pants hanging off my hips, you know, to just, you just seen just me going through trying to find who I was, you know, going through a bunch of different stages in my life. And one of those stages was, you know, I was a gangster, you know, I wanted to be a gangster. That was my story. I was going to be a badass gangster bitch, right? That was going to be my thing. I was pretty good at being a badass gangster bitch too. Look at my 20s. I don't remember it much, but I can call Rick Wells and ask him how my 20s was. Hey, Sheriff, I don't remember much about my 20s. Can you help me out here? Oh, Bullhorn, I think some of those things are left not talked about, young lady. Okay. All right, Sheriff Wells, have a great day. We ain't going back there, okay? We ain't going back there. But what I'm trying to say is we all go through stages. We're all, you know, punks, right? Disrespectful punks, every last one of you. One way or another, even if it's like, I know, like Olivia, like her being a, you know, a disgruntled punk is like, you know, her forgetting to feed a dog or dog or something. Like, she's too sweet, right? She's too sweet. I don't know. But, you know, even the sweet kids, right? Parents still have to, you know, be parents, right? That's why you got the sweet kids. So, but I'm just telling you, I was a punk. I was a punk. This could have been my story, right? This could have been my story. He didn't know his life was, there's so many roads he could have went down, and this would have shaken off. This would have shaken off. And I have to think it's because, you know, I'm not looking into this family. I don't want to judge, but I like to analyze, right? And I like to try to find out what, you know, behaviors and who these people are, you know, their state of mind, right? I like getting into the brain. And it just seemed to me, just from an outsider looking in, and it happens to a lot of people, it looks like maybe this boy didn't have a father figure in his life, you know, or has, you know, had some deep childhood trauma. Because that's, you know, let's face it, that's whenever you're acting out and stuff, there's stuff going on at home, you know, whether it's intended or unintended. I know you moms and dads try to absolutely do your best, right? With whatever you're dealt with, you try to manage. You got to still go to work. You got to, even if you have to work 2 jobs, right? You got to put food on the table. You got to take care of your kids, right? So I'm not blaming anybody for anything. I'm just pointing out that, you know, maybe these are the things that caused him to go in that, you know, protect, because when you're rough, tough cream puff and you got to show how bad you are, it's a facade to hide something else, right? You don't need to be like that unless you're trying to hide something, unless you're protecting yourself. That's why you have the rough, tough
You can't let anybody in, right? So, I mean, that's just the psychology behind it. Now, whether that's accurate or true, that's just my opinion. But that's just how I feel. So I feel the need to explain some of this because I don't want this victim being judged or victim shaming happening because he doesn't deserve it. He's a 16-year-old boy that was probably a normal, boy that was, thought he was gangsta. He didn't deserve to lose his life, y'all. And especially the way he lost his life is pretty brutal. And it's hard for me to swallow that these are probably going to be kids his age that were capable of this type of brutality. And probably were proud of themselves and probably dapped themselves and gave them an attaboy and patted themselves on the back. That's the part that makes me so sick to my stomach. Because they're probably thinking this is a joke and a game after they took this boy out of his family's life until that day comes and that knock comes on the door. And then it's all tears down and I'm sorry and I didn't do it. Right? Then you get the little boys out of them with the tears rolling down their face. Or some punk sitting there, oh yeah, it's okay. I don't mind doing 20 years. Oh, you ain't doing 20 years, sir. You about to do the rest of your God-given life. And that's when it hits. And that's when it hits. But he didn't deserve to go out. So this is going to be a little rough. I will tell you that. So just, this is the aunt of this boy. Her name's Michelle. And you can just see she's hurt. She's angry. She wants answers. And she doesn't give a flying you-know-what about anybody. She's throwing names.
My name is Michelle Isaac. My nephew is Trentin Ray Preston Isaac. On November 12th, my nephew went missing. 3 times we fought to make a missing persons report. On November 15th, my nephew's body was found in Harrison County. He went to what he thought was a friend's, Landon's, over off of Armstrong Trailer Park on November 12th, 2024 is what we were told. My nephew's body was found beaten and caught on fire in Harrison County. My nephew was outnumbered by what he thought was friends. I'm fighting every day for justice, and I'm going to continue to fight. My nephew, no matter what, was a 16-year-old child. I want justice, and I want to know why this had to happen to my nephew. Why?
So as you can see, that is very, very difficult for that aunt to be dealing with this. She's hurt. She's angry. She wants to know why. We're getting a little bit more information. The old friends, right? The old friends with the beefs or wanting to be popular or wanting to be seen or known by this group of people. And I'm willing to serve up and sacrifice a friendship. It angers me. It angers me. I will tell you that. Another little
With
video.
over 100 name brands, the possibilities are endless. Cuyahoga Shoe Mart, your supermarket of shoes.
16-year-old Trentin Isaac left the Woodland Hills Trailer Park community on Armstrong Street in Mansfield on the night of November 12, 2024, never to be seen again. His family took to social media throughout the days following his disappearance.
We now know that this trailer park is the trailer park he went to go see his friend Landon. And what I do, I'm just going to throw this out there. Like mainstream media never used to take the ride arounds. You know, that is a social media hack of what we do to show our people the area. It's funny to see them starting to do that. I started seeing that in the Madeline Soto case, where they decided to start driving around and recording it. And I just thought that was really funny. I mean, it's just cute. It's cute because, you know, we're dogged so much by mainstream media because we are technically and theoretically competition to them. And not just us, just social media in general. And it's just funny seeing them pick up some of our little tricks of the trade.
disappearance and filed a missing persons report with the Mansfield Division of Police. On Monday afternoon, Trentin's body
Actually,
was
that
found
looks like
by
a
an
drone.
Ohio Division of Natural
I
Resources
can tell by the
officer
way
in a
it's
remote
moving.
area.
But still, they never used to do this. But this is a drone. I can tell by the way it's moving.
Of Harrison County in eastern Ohio, 100 miles away from where he was last seen. A joint investigation is being conducted by the Mansfield Division of Police and the Harrison County Sheriff's Office to determine what led to the young man's death. Authorities would only say that Trentin's death was suspicious.
And if he was last seen, this comes back to, our statements when we're talking about these cases. What are we looking for? We're looking for motive, means, opportunity. Who was the last one to see him? He was beaten up, okay? Let me tell you, you cannot really, unless you're using objects, you cannot beat somebody up without hurting or leaving abrasions, especially the kind of violence that would cause somebody to lose their life. You're talking about some heavy hits and blows. And I have to think a few of them would have taken, their own. And so they're going to show bruising. They're going to show abrasions. They're going to show some type of markings on their bodies. And that's why it's so important whenever we're looking at cases. That's why many people drilled in on the stepfather and those marks that he had all up and down his arm, right? When we saw that first interview from the green shirt interview from WSMV, people honed in on those abrasions. Why is that so important? Because not only are we looking for the person that last saw someone, if they're missing or deceased, we're looking for a person that last saw them and a person that may have wounds on them to show an altercation, right? And in the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case, we actually have a mom that professes she was the last one to see that child and the only person to see that child last, and subsequently find out that the stepfather has abrasions, scratches, and what appears to potentially be bite marks exhibited on his arm. These are very critical details that would make anyone, what? Wait, what? Oh, thank you, Kim. If you guys are coming in, thank you guys so much for all of your love and support. There's no, it's any Cash App, whatever, or not Cash App, but a super chat, any nomination goes toward our ultimate goal. Today, we're just trying to raise a little bit of funds for our legal expenses. I find that this is probably the best way to remind everybody. And anything and everything is so appreciative in this time of need. We are always helping a lot of people out there and usually raising funds for them. I never tried, outside of when I first started the show, I never tried to raise funds for myself personally unless it's needed for a story or something like that. We always try to put those efforts toward others, like families, GoFundMes and help the families. But this is one of the times that I need to lean on my own chat for me personally, which kind of sucks. But the legal expenses are just that. They're very expensive. Many of you guys know that yourself, from, your divorces or your other stuff. So that's all we're trying to do. I do appreciate it. And before we close out, we'll do the ass and karma. I like those videos. I don't know why, but I like them. I like them. So anyways, we know that this right here is where Trentin was last known to be at. And we've learned that this is his friend Landon's place or area of residence. So it seems like Landon may have set up his own friend. And this all, thank you, Teresa. Thank you so much. God bless you. But he set up his own friend. Please tell me that's not what we're going to find out in this case. We've heard this before. Remember that one little girl that, what was she, like 13? And she was kidnapped, held hostage, and beaten. I don't know if she succumbed to her injuries. I think she escaped. And she was naked and she was running down the road. She was like, and maybe she was 16. I can't remember how old she was. She was young. And
these are people her age. Oh, thank you, Narita. These are people her age that did that to her. Tied her up for days and beat what, how in the world are our young children so flippin' violent? Like, we used to have schoolyard fights, okay? I get it. It's part of growth. That's what really pisses me off when people, like, we have law enforcement in some areas that arrest little kids for getting into a little smacking match. It's part of growth. You punish them different ways. They don't need a visit to jail, okay? I'm so sick of everybody thinking everybody needs to go to jail for every little thing. There's other mechanisms besides jail, especially for our children. Let's try not to ruin their lives, government. Let's try to find, things that are going to help promote them to do better. Not ruin their effing life. Oh, well, we'll get in there and we'll do a diversion program. Yeah, see how that diversion program works. Look at my 1995. I was 16 years old. That was back when nobody was allowed to even share documents for somebody under the age of 18. Yet here all social media has something that happened when I was 15. At the end of the day, children are going to be kids. That part of growth is being upset and learning different mechanisms to handle it. A schoolyard fight does not, in my opinion, justify the use of law enforcement to detain children. Expulsion, therapy, holding the parents responsible, letting the parents deal with it like they did back in my day. Trust me, I was more scared of mommy and daddy finding out than going to juvenile. Hell, I was sitting there, please take me, right? That's the way it should be, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. Sometimes the government, depending on what state, agrees with me, and sometimes they don't. But I just don't believe in I like even this. This is what bothers me, because I know a lot of the childhood issues are a direct result of the home environment, whether it's intended or unintended by the parent, period. Okay? I'm not blaming the parent, but let's face it, if there's a single mom and she's working 2 jobs and she's got her oldest child taking care of the young, there's no parental guidance in a home. You do the best you can, but there is an explanation. It's out of her control, but there are explanations. It's not that these parents are bad parents. It's just they're being taxed too thin. And that's welcome to America. Welcome to America.
WMFD spoke with Trentin's mother and aunt, who would like to thank the officer who found Trentin, and the 2 of them and their family want justice.
He told his cousin that he was going to his friend Landon Stevenson's house. My son was not shot. My son was not found in the car. Mansfield detectives did tell me that, so the story was that for a brief moment. And I did tell people that because the detectives told me that. When I spoke to the coroner from up there, she confirmed to me that my son was not shot.
So no gun violence associated with this, but doesn't that almost imply even more brutality? I mean, let's face it, a pew-pew is a in just like any other weapon, is cowardly, in my opinion, unless you are defending yourself. But at some point, there was no pew-pew. That means they had to unalive this boy pretty much probably with their bare hands. That is pretty stinking brutal to think our young children are capable of something like that. I'm 45 years old. I cover true crime. I've seen some of the worst photos and videos you could ever imagine to see. And I don't think even in my worst day, I could ever be as brutal as taking somebody's life with my bare hands. Just for no reason. I absolutely believe I'm absolutely capable of defending myself. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. But the brutality of a 15 to 17-year-olds to unalive a kid with their bare hands, I'm interested in this. I'm hoping there's another weapon involved than the thought of that, right? And I'm not saying hope as in, I'm just saying for my conscience, I'd rather there be another weapon than to think that other children have the capability of taking somebody out with their bare hands. That's the point I'm making. Not that any of this is hopeful or what I'd ever hope for anyone.
My son was not found in a car. Asked her if my baby was burnt, and she couldn't tell me. And I identified him through his fingerprints because my baby had his fist clenched. The game warden of that county was out feeding the deer.
Oh, that's another thing. Do you know a federal agent is the one that found this young boy? Which is really good because the federal agent would have known not to contaminate the crime scene. I was thinking a bit. Like I said, it's still hurt, but still, even that's pretty brutal. Do you know how much damage that can do? And to enjoy doing that to somebody, I don't know. And the reason why I say enjoy is because they didn't have to do it. Obviously, they chose to do it. And I don't see them walking out after doing this with a bunch of tears in their hands. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to finish the job. So they were very happy and jovial and proud of themselves for what they did to this young boy. That is truly what I believe. And I hope every last one of them is arrested and held accountable in law enforcement or to law enforcement and the judicial system and this boy's family.
Because his son was going deer hunting the next morning or the next day, and he found my son.
And we want to say thank you to him because we pray to God for Trentin to help lead us to him. We pray to God for us to find him. And without that man finding him,
we'd still be looking. We'd still be in the woods kicking leaf piles, snotty nosed and all.
We want justice, but also we want...
So their child was missing. They went out looking for this child. Wow, parents actually going out and looking for a child that's missing. It sounds like what a normal parent would do. Doesn't seem like it's rocket science to pick your butt up and go out in the woods or go out searching for your child that you love and is lost. Right? We're missing that in one of the cases we're covering. Not this one, because you can hear this family came together and went out searching for their son and family member. I just find that a little worth noting.
Justice for Ray Ray. We want justice for Ray Ray, but we also want it to be forever Trentin's world. Yeah. Forever Trentin's world. And if we can help someone else's child, if we could help Mansfield do better, somebody react faster.
See? You got a family here that realizes something failed them. You don't see them on their high horse. They're saying, we want to do something to make this process better. They're already talking about advocating. They're already talking about doing something to make sure this doesn't happen to somebody else's child. You don't see them saying this isn't enough. You know, we realize they have other cases to handle. So we're just fine with them handling these other cases and not really, concerned about our missing child. No, they're saying we're kind of upset that you didn't take our case seriously. Where on the flip side, with Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, law enforcement didn't hesitate not 1 second to jump into action. They made these people wait. This is exactly why I tell you guys, remember I tell you, when you know something, law enforcement doesn't know your children. Law enforcement doesn't know your family member. When it comes to older children and adults, you've got to sit in that chair until they take you seriously. If they're not going to let you fill out a missing persons application, you sit right there. When they keep asking you, why are you still here? Because none of you idiots are taking me seriously enough, and I'm not leaving until I fill out an affidavit for a missing person. That's sometimes
just how you have to do it. And I know that because Osceola and Orange County are not the best here in Florida. I'm sorry, they're just not from where I sit. Okay? I don't really care about their police practices. I've been there. I've gotten a lot of people together, and we basically stormed the office of Orange County. Was it Orange or Osceola? Demanding the detectives start talking to the family about their missing loved one, which we were able to accomplish. But it took about 100 of us. Well, not quite 100. Maybe, how many were there? 30 or 40 people that had to go in there and refuse to leave until somebody talked to these families. And I made sure I had my bullhorn in my hand, and I let them know. It's been a half an hour. If somebody's not out here, I've got signs in my vehicle. I'm going to be out in your parking lot in a few moments. And we're going to be live streaming this. It's funny how quickly a detective comes out from his office and takes the parents into a private room. But sometimes you just have to do what you have to do to get the results that you need, lawfully and legally. Lawfully and legally, right? So you listen to this family. They tried to report their son and nephew missing, and law enforcement would not take the report. Shame on law enforcement. Shame on them. This boy could have been saved if they took it seriously, or a lot more seriously than they did. We don't know. We will never know. Why? Because law enforcement wouldn't take the damn report. So remember, if you are ever dealing with this with your a family member, a friend, a neighbor, tell them to sit their butt in that sheriff's office until somebody takes them seriously. Don't be disrespectful. Don't throw a scene. I mean, you can get loud respectfully, and you can be assertive respectfully. But, there is civil disobedience, like sitting in a chair after they say there's nothing we can do for you. And when they ask you, you're not leaving until they take you seriously. However long you need to sit in that chair for that law enforcement to take you seriously, that's what you need to do. And this is exactly why I tell you that.
Sure, when these kids we're trying to report our babies, make that report, listen to us.
My son was a gentleman. To know Trent was to love Trent. Trent was such a good big brother. Best son ever. He was my protector. He was my man of my house. Everybody loved Trent. He was a very good person. He was just a good spirit, man. I mean, when he walked in the room, you felt his presence. He would change the mood in the room in an instant.
So there you guys go. If you know anything about Trentin Isaac in Mansfield, Ohio, please reach out to law enforcement today. This family does need your help. We do have a few interviews, but even this interview was, I believe, a month ago. November 21st, several months ago. Mainstream media gives up on these cases so quickly. And what is the family left to do? They have no way to get that story out from their community because mainstream media is not putting enough pressure to move it up and running more stories to get people interested in it so it can be picked up by mainstream media. But even mainstream media, News Nation, I believe it was Ashley Banfield, that wouldn't run a story on a boy because they thought he was a criminal because he had a meltdown. He stole it. His name was Jason. It looked like he was running from somebody, not that he was trying to commit a crime, but he ended up wrecking his car and basically taking off in a car that didn't belong to him. So the family was trying to find him. He was in a tree dead, hanging out of a tree. How he got up that tree and how he was hanging out of that tree is still beyond me. But law enforcement chalked it up as him being on the run, and he was in grave need of medical attention, and they didn't even look for him. They didn't even look for him. Law enforcement just knew how this was. They had predetermined the outcome. And they could have saved that boy. That I'm absolutely convinced of. So when you have a missing child, this is your wake-up call. Sometimes law enforcement doesn't take you seriously. It's your job to make sure they take you seriously. But do it respectfully, or as respectfully as possible, and do not violate the law that could ever get you thrown in jail. And if an officer ever tells you, I'm not taking the report, and if you don't leave, I'm going to arrest you, you immediately take out your phone and document that. Okay? If you ever get threatened to be arrested for filling out a missing child report that they're refusing to take, even if they do arrest you, be respectful. You do what you have to do for your family and your children to make sure law enforcement takes you seriously. But I never thought I'd have to say, if you get arrested, right? But quite frankly, especially small towns, I don't know. They kind of lost. I'm a little butthurt, to say the least, when it comes to small town policing. So we'll figure out our path forward. But I'm going to make sure that this never happens to me again. I follow the law. I stand on me following the law, and I'm going to fight this until the ever piece of me goes bye-bye. That I did not violate the law, and what is happening is the responsibility of 4 people, ultimately, and a detective that really, really did not do herself any goodness. My birthday was Friday. Happy birthday, Hen House. Happy belated birthday. Okay, let me get back to my list of our stuff. So we're still looking for the spot that Chris said Sebastian won't be found. I will find it. I found it before. I'm either going to find it in my own video, or I'm because I know I covered it once before, or I'm going to find the video that it was in. But if you guys are doing reviews of the interviews and you come across it, I'm looking for where he states he was a little frustrated when he stated it, but he's like, they're not going to find him. Something to that effect. So if you come across that in a video, and it was prior to Dog the Bounty Hunter and Nick the Hat ever even being involved in this case. So it was back, I want to say March, April, May area, those 3 months. It's in that area of time. I remember that. So one of my subscribers put a comment on one of my videos. I can't remember, but I did copy and paste the comment. And the reason why I copied and pasted the comment is because it really solidified kind of some of the stuff that I have been trying to express, but I felt like it put it in better wording for you guys. And I'm going to go ahead and read that here right now. I can't see chat, y'all. Let me get the chat back up. Let me get this back where it needs to be. And I will be back with the chat, but this is what it says. And it says, SF Investigates is paid to be the Proudfoot / Bower Sox. And so he is no neutral investigator, because that's impossible if an investigator is paid by one party in a case. And obviously SF is, I'm going to call him UTI. Obviously UTI is delivering good work, right? Question mark. How much effort did it take to recreate the flashlight video on the camera? Flashlight video on the camera's owner's driveway. As SF said, the owner was so nice and helpful. But why didn't that nice camera owner not just hand the unscrupulous PI a daytime footage? And all the search dog videos of SF showing the dogs working while the work on construction went on, unstopped by LE. Looks as if SF
throws LE under the bus now. In my opinion, it is right that LE messed up big time. In my opinion, it is right that LE messed up big time. I wonder how can it be that not one search dog tracked Sebastian's scent? That basically means to me that Sebastian couldn't have walked there by himself. But the fresh ground destruction the dog sniffed out seemed to be the exact trail the flashlights took. What if Chris visited Katie that night and they both walked out with flashlights to be unseen by the cameras? Was that the reason Katie had no light on the house? So if CPS told Chris to stay away from the house, but he didn't follow the CPS advice, that would be and will be bad for his custody case with Nina about Faith. So I like this because she makes a valid point. This person makes a valid point. Why would SF, the unscrupulous PI, the UTI of the case, why would he spend all of this time manufacturing this video evidence, but not getting the camera footage? Didn't he say he received the camera footage from this house? Wouldn't it have been ultra obvious to SF exactly where the camera view was, because he had obtained footage from this homeowner before and was working with this homeowner and happy to work with the homeowner, and actually eliciting everybody in the community to hand over all of the video footage that they have in their possession, custody, and control, and the people that wouldn't had to run out of their home, and go stay in a motel because they were under such intense harassment and intimidation for that footage. So now that we put things in perspective, wouldn't that mean that SF, the unscrupulous PI, the UTI of this case, went out of his way to manipulate, manufacture, and deceive everybody when he made that report? Because let's face it, he has been bragging this entire time that he has all of this footage. Hundreds of hours. Brags about having this home's footage and seeing exactly what happened from this home's footage. So why was it such a mystery where the camera was pointing? That seems pretty intentional to me. CNY family, it's nice to see you here. You're actually on my list to talk about. I don't know if you guys saw last night, the CNY family hosted a retired detective that had covered some cases and got a chance to interview and get some information from the detective. Now, I thought the detective was really, really great. I thought it was a great interview, by the way. And I believe that he was very reserved in his commentary because it was live, which, you know what I would do if I were you, CNY family? You might have already done this. There's only so much he's willing to say on camera. I would pick his brain a little deeper. Off the record, of course, just for your knowledge, not to be broadcasted on, a show, but it does help. But I would pick his brain a little more, because I could tell just by the way he was talking, especially when he started getting a little more pointed into the case itself, that he made his points, but he was very reserved. And I think if you got a great connection with a detective, that you want to, develop that relationship, because that would be a great resource for you in the future. But even diving into this case a little more with him, he might be able to give you an angle or something that you can research that might be fruitful or produce fruit for this case. So I would work with him a little bit more off the record and see if maybe there's some help, some guidance that he can provide, maybe even down to statistics related to runaways and maybe potential search areas, or picking his brain if he's had any type of case where a person, it doesn't have to be a child, disappeared from a home, and what were the details of those cases? Where did they end up finding the person or the child? Those types of things really, really help me. When I get somebody like that, I remember I had an opportunity because I'm in politics. So some of our groups and the politics stuff, even in my little county, we have FBI, retired FBI and CIA agents. I've got a lot of different law enforcement that are heavily involved in a lot of nonprofit and philanthropy type of organizations, and bringing a private partnership, with law enforcement and different initiatives that they have, and other people, counselors and psychologists and psychiatrists, and all of them is a melting pot. So I've had opportunities to pick some people's brains, but not about this case, unfortunately. So whenever I do have an opportunity, I always I'm like a sponge. I just keep asking questions and just keep absorbing the information. So if there's anything we can ever do to help this officer, this retired detective, help promote his channel and get him get him up to his what he needs to have, I'm happy to help any way I can. If you want to send me his channel, I'm happy to throw it up on a community post, community tab, but I'd like it done after he does like maybe a new video kicking off his channel, and then we have something that we can send people to review. It would be really nice. But thank you. That was a great interview last night. I hope everybody goes over there and checks that out. What else do we have here? Oh, the deception detective. You guys know I'm absolutely love learning new stuff. I absolutely love, I wish I was kind of, not, sometimes I wish I was not me, right? I wish I had this amazing way to keep like this and just talk about, this and, talk about, everything. I'm just not that. Okay. I'm just not that. I'm Bullhorn Betty. You got to turn your volume down for me. Okay. You got to turn your volume down for me. That's the beauty of being on the Bullhorn Betty channel. We wake you up. We wake you up. Right. And I love him because he says what he means. He means what he's one of those do as I say, not as I do. Like me, I'm a say it, do as I say, not as I do type of person sometimes. I'm the first to admit it, right? My glaring imperfections, right? My glaring imperfections. And he says what he means what he says, and he doesn't say it mean. I love it. And he's got these nifty cards that I have just been entertained with, right? These are and it's not only that, it's learning as well. I love it. I love learning new things. I love the whole gamut he's got going on over there. I love the breakdowns of certain interviews. I love the fact that he tries to teach other people. I love the fact that, he's got cards. We need Betty dolls or something. I don't know. Maybe Betty dolls that I don't know what it's going to say. I wonder what the machete Betty doll. Pull the string. It's got to be better than the Chucky doll. Come on. Oh, we have way too much fun here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. We have way too much fun. So, anyways, he is willing to do another review of an interview for the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case. Now, we don't know which interview he's going to pick. However, he's willing to do another one. And I think he's got like 4 videos up right now for Sebastian, maybe 5. His only request is for us to get those up to 50,000. If all those go up to 50,000 views, then he will do another review of an interview in the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case. And there's another case he's starting to work on that you guys know is near and dear to all of our hearts. And that is Michael Monkey Vaughn. And it doesn't appear like his video for Michael Monkey Vaughn is doing that well. What? How can something from the Deception Detective related to Michael Monkey Vaughn not be doing well in his algorithm? It's Michael Monkey Vaughn. So please, guys, go over there, support the Deceptive Detective. One of the things that helped me as a content creator to be as accurate as possible with all of you guys is all these other professionals that have their expertise in their area. And when they talk about these cases, we learn a lot. And so we have to be supporting, especially these professional channels with people that have skills that we don't have. We got to make sure that they're happy and healthy on this platform, because Sebastian and Michael Monkey Vaughn deserve to have their position here. We worked entirely too hard on that case, the Michael Monkey Vaughn case, as well as the Summer Wells case, for those to not have good algorithms in it. And if they're not performing well, then we're not doing our job well here on these platforms. And I'm the first to say I need to get better. So we're going to start running and help boot. I don't know when. I got to try to pull time out of my bootay, okay? And I got to be honest with you, I'm getting stretched thin. But we've got to start getting back to getting these major cases back in the algorithm of social media. Summer Wells, Michael Monkey Vaughn, they have not been found yet. Right? They have not been found yet. We've got Sebastian Rogers, has not been found yet. Layla Santinello has not been found yet. Holland Snap has not been found yet. We've got to do better as a true crime community, and it's hard. It's for us creators, it's a struggle, because like that guy's video, he sits down, he analyzes, he talks to it. But what you guys don't see is the video editing that goes behind that, cutting out all the mistakes that you made, making sure that everything is true, accurate, and correct, and that it looks professional. That stuff it looks like it's easy, folks. I'm telling you, it's not easy. It's not an easy project. So all of this stuff, we need to make sure that our experts on these platforms are getting as much attention, because we want them to review the stuff we want them to review. Right now, my only goal, okay, I'll be honest with you, I'm a little biased and a little selfish. I won't lie, okay? I won't lie. I'm a little biased and a little selfish. And I want more videos, interviews broke down by the Deception Detective, okay? I will be honest with you. That is my goal, is to get him up to $50,000 so I can get another darn interview out of him. Okay? I'm kind of selfish like that. I'm sorry. So I'm promoting Deception Detective for my own motivations, okay? So don't think it's not for motivated wise, okay? I want more, okay? I want more on the Sebastian Rogers case. He's good at what he does, and I want more. So if you guys could go over there and start helping him get those up to 50,000 so we can get another video out. We also want to keep making sure Lore Lodge knows that we're here and we support him, because he came under such BS for having that unscrupulous PI, and giving him a platform, not only giving him a platform, but treating him with respect. Now, I would have treated him with respect, but I don't know if I would have been that respectful, if that makes sense. Okay. So he had a gift, that unscrupulous PI, and he pissed all over it. But, he's got a UTI. So he is the UTI of this case. So he did the only damage. But we also want the Lore Lodge to make sure he didn't, just step into a bunch of crap in vain. You guys make sure you're letting him know thank you when he posts stuff, repost it. Show some courtesy on social media for those creators. I'd really appreciate it. It's a favor from me. If you guys could do that for me, I'd really greatly appreciate it. Okay. Yes, so go watch. Okay, now we're going to, let me just say thank you. You guys were further on the list, but I think I already said thank you to both of you. Outer Banks, as well as Brown-Eyed Girl. I don't think she realized she exposed Justin for All. being a voice model, but she did. Okay. We did the voice comparison. If you guys missed the voice comparison this morning, you're going to need to go back and watch it because it was a perfect match. Okay. If you don't believe me, that's it. Oh, let me turn it this way. So that's Justin. Okay. That's Justin. So thank you, Brown Eyed Girl. We're gonna be having a lot of fun with this button. And Outer Banks for the beautiful shirt. You guys see this? I did a video. Look at that. I love it. I love it. And it fits me well. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's a snug, you just do something like this and it feels so good and it doesn't go down to my ankles, So I like this because, when it gets too cold out, you know what I do? Even though I'm fully dressed, like I'm fully dressed, okay? You know what I do when it's cold out? I go in there and I grab my big, thick Hard Rock Cafe because they have the thick terry cloth. I bought one. It cost me like freaking $115. I bought 2 of them actually. So it was a very expensive one. But that one goes all the way. It goes past my ankles, which I don't like. But when it's freezing cold out, you want something covering every aspect of your body, okay? I don't know if you're like me, but I don't want to feel cold against my skin, okay? I just don't. And so I grabbed that. So even though I'm fully dressed, I'm out in the front yard in a robe and people are driving by at like noon. It's like, does that lady ever just get dressed? It's like, I come in here and I throw robes over there right now. It's right there by the front door. I don't even have a jacket. I got a robe. Yeah, they'd really have a heart attack when I go, woo, right? And it's just a shirt that says Happy New Year. Okay. So we're gonna address. I hate doing this. I really do. I'm kind of mediocre with this particular content creator. I don't like her. She's had some fun things to say about me. I don't like it. She says, "Oh, I'm drama free," but yet right then I was a member, and she went to drama, and so I unsubscribed from her. Well, somebody had sent me something in my email, and of course I listened to it. And again, I don't want to, call anybody out disrespectfully, but when there's misinformation, I'm sorry, we have to address it. And this came directly from Fed Crime Stories. And it's like, yeah, we ain't doing this. So unfortunately, this is really kind of a call to say, hey, you need to get your facts straight, because this is how misinformation and disinformation gets started. And I can tell you, as much as me and the rest of the people that are truly trying to find any information that will help and aid in bringing this child home, it's frustrating. And this is a content creator people trust. And now we're going to have people going out there and spreading this misinformation, all because of this BS statement in this video. So unfortunately, we're going to have to put a kibosh on this now. Seth Rogers did not rent a car. That Monday, he got out of work. He found out his son was missing. He left work and went straight to Hendersonville. Period. In his truck. Now, I have corroborated this with Seth. I have corroborated this with some other people in the neighborhood that were there that morning when he arrived. He arrived in his truck with that big old advertisement sign going down it. What am I talking about? I hope Fed Crime Stories puts out an update on this right here.
Retired PI also believes that Chris Proudfoot was in the area of Hendersonville, Tennessee on Sunday night, and that Chris could have been driving any number of vehicles. The retired PI also feels that Sebastian's disappearance was planned and also feels that Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers, likely knows what happened. The PI posed this question: why did Seth drive a rental vehicle to the Proudfoot home on that Monday morning?
This is how misinformation right here gets started. So we can absolutely, without a doubt, say Bed Crime Stories is part of the misinformation and disinformation campaign. This has been well known for a very, very long time that Sebastian's father showed up in his truck. As a matter of fact, went under heavy scrutiny by these same yahoos that are causing him problems right now, talking about what? You had this going on and you were falling asleep in your truck. That man just got off a 12-hour shift and walked into a bunch of you-know-what and found out his son was missing and did the best he could. But yes, somebody's got to sleep. And had to sleep in his truck, so he gets crucified for that. And then now we've got Bed Crime Stories putting out mis and disinformation that everybody knows is untrue. Who told them this? Who told them this? This is a lie. This is not just a misinformation. This is a bold face lie that this creator absolutely knows is untrue. Absolutely knows is untrue. Everybody saw Seth's truck. Everybody saw it parked out in front of their house for 3 solid days before him and all this, the manufactured argument about the GoFundMe to kick him out so Chris could go get his camper. Didn't want to leave Katie alone with Seth. Wonder why. I don't think he was worried about an affair. Just saying. Bed Crime Stories. I'm just, I can't. People trust her. And she knows that this is disinformation. She knows this is a flat out lie. Out of all the coverage she's done, when did this rental car come in? Let's listen.
Feels that Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers, likely knows what happened. The PI posed this question: why did...
So if he knew what was happening, and now that we know he's not in a rental car, I wonder what that PI now says about the statement. Or does he, is this the only reason? Because this seems like the only reason he thinks that Seth might have some involvement is this fictitious rental car. And that's what it is, fictitious. Shame. I'm just ashamed.
Seth drive a rental vehicle to the Proudfoot home on that Monday morning, because on the weekends when he picked Sebastian up, he always drove his truck.
Well, it's kind of funny because let me tell you, he was always in his truck. So let's see if Tia, or whatever her name is, let's see if she corrects this statement. She knows that's not true. Let's see if she corrects it. This is what the PI told her. Let's see if she corrects it.
That idea caught me off guard, hearing that this PI feels Seth knows. Could that explain why Seth's lawyer sent the original PI, Heather Cohen, a letter saying that she cannot discuss the case? I emailed Heather Cohen because I wanted to chat with her, and she said she'd love to, but cannot because of a letter from Seth's lawyer.
Yeah, it's called a cease and desist letter. You know why? Because she doesn't own the information she found out. Seth does. You can lose your license to be a PI like this unscrupulous PI. The UTI. Yes, Justin. Are you here now? Justin? Are you a voice model? Tell us the truth. Tell us the truth. I've got receipts. I've got receipts, Justin. Tell me the truth. You voice model. Don't lie. We're putting the receipts up right now. We're putting the receipts up right now. I got a button yesterday. I got a button. Christopher! Now, here's my button. Here's my button. Don't tell me that's not your voice on here, Justin. Don't tell me that's not your voice. Are you selling buttons? Are you selling crazy goat buttons? Don't lie, Justin. I did the voice test myself. Listen. Let's go. Let's go back to Katie! I don't know. I'm just saying. I think it's your voice. I think you're selling buttons. How did they get your voice on a button? I didn't know you were taking a new job, Justin. Is it more profitable? Should I make my own line of Betty buttons? Ooh. Ooh. Well, I just thought of something. We're doing great. We got Justin on a button. So every time I push this button, that's as soon as I push this button, Justin, I swear, I'm like, I thought of the chicken dance. As soon as I push this button, I swear, I did a double take. Oh, sorry. It's you know what? I gotta have something to break the crazy up, right? I have to do something to break the crazy up. So this is from Brown Eye Girl. She sent me you in the mail. That's all. Every time I need a little bit of Justin. That's the screaming goat. But it's the Christopher. I'm literally in tears right now. I'm crying, guys. I am literally crying. My eyelashes are wet. They are wet. What is Justin saying? Oh, he's saying hi to everybody. That's the screaming goat. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All right, guys, where was I? Oh, yeah, the misinformation. So I just want to confirm with everybody here that he did not. I don't want people getting wild with this rental car. I have absolutely corroborated it as much as I can possibly corroborate it. He showed up that morning in his pickup truck. His pickup truck was there. Miss Bobby saw his pickup truck. Miss Bobby, does she correct that? No. Oh, let's listen. I don't think she corrects it. I think she just keeps going on. She never corrects it. You know, Bed Crime Stories knows the truth. She knows he did not rent a vehicle. That's what's pissing me off with this.
Heather Cohen, as the first PI on the case, is the person who had the undisturbed site information before the entire case blew up into chaos. The retired PI said that if Sebastian indeed returned home from the Texas Roadhouse, then the Proudfoots had plans, allegedly, to get rid of him. Of course, I want to point out that this is pure speculation and just someone's opinion. The Proud Feet have not been charged.
But those opinions are based upon the fact that he thinks Seth, and she was speaking to this detective or this retired PI. She was speaking to this retired PI, so she could have, without a doubt, corrected the information. She could have said, wait, where did you hear he was renting a car? He never rented a car. He was in his truck that morning. If that's what made him feel like he's part of this plan is because he rented a car, well, he didn't rent a car. He literally got out of the school or got out of work and went straight to the house. He got out of work. He stuck around there to see if he was needed any further. When he was finally relieved, he went to his truck. He picked up his phone. He realized he has a call and a text message, 911. So before he even drives out of the parking lot, he calls back. And the first words out of Chris's mouth is, "Don't be mad." Don't be mad? Don't be mad? Not, have you seen Sebastian? When's the last time you talked to him? Did he talk to you about anything that he was frustrated about? Did he tell you he was unhappy about something? None of those normal conversations that I would think any parent would have with their ex-spouse related to their child, especially if their child was missing. I think I ran away from home. One of the first things my mom or dad would do is, did she make any mention she was dipping? Where is she? There was none of that. There was none of that. And so I don't quite understand, like, that whole, the initial call, all these things that they didn't realize would be public knowledge at some point are becoming public knowledge, from him not wanting the cameras, immediately going there and telling the camera crews to take their cameras off the house, to all of these weird things that normal people just don't do. We just don't do it. I don't stand out there. I got a dead end road. I could literally stand out there and anybody coming down the road, stop them and tell them, "Do you live around here? No, go home." Right? Does normal people do that? No, they don't. They don't. Can you imagine? He's like excuse me, I hate to, put it down like this. Is almost like a paranoid seahead, right? Peeping out the window, seeing if somebody's driving by, and when somebody drives by, popping out the bushes. I'm serious. That's the image I have. I have that's the image I have. I think that's from, remember that movie Friday? Where they had the I'll just say the crackhead. You got to go take a poop in the bushes. You guys don't remember any of that? What is wrong with you? Have a great day, Seth. Have a great day. But that's what he was doing. And he did that to Miss Bobby. Just pops out of the bushes. I'm like, normal people don't do that. Did you see what I compared him to? Somebody under a very strong narcotic. The C, right? The Coca-Cola in Coca-Cola rock form. Just saying. Those people act like that. So, again, all these behaviors don't equate to the situation we're dealing with here. And then we got this unscrupulous PI that would have had those videos, but intentionally still took his own footage to throw people off. Intentionally, willfully, maliciously, to get them off the client that's paying him the big bucks to run all this interference. Never mind the hot mess express he looked like. He looked like he knew absolutely nothing on the Lore Lodge. You go and listen to a bunch of interviews on other cases on Nancy Grace and stuff, even though she doesn't give him much talk time. You'll see he seems to have those free cases, the cases he's not being paid for, down pat. But somehow this one that he's being paid god-awful money to run interference for is just so confusing, so convoluted. And when he has to speak about it, it's well, I'm a SARS-op. Anybody that has to wear a shirt every place they go that says SARS-op makes me question their certifications. I'm sorry. It just does. It just does. So anyways, guys, you rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. But please, please, please don't forget, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers needs to be advocated for. We don't need to be talking about Tweedledee and Tweedledum or the parents or the grandparents. We have our opinion about them. What we do is we keep diving in. We keep diving in. Something is out there. Let's give some theories that I've heard from experts. Okay, these are my own personal experts that I have spoken with, people that have been in the military, such as my cousin. And once they found out that both the parents were Navy, the first thing out of his mouth was water. He sat there and told me that water would be their comfort zone. Water would be the first thing that comes to their brain when they're trying to think of what to do, because water is what they know. So that made sense to me. I do believe, and I've said prior to my arrest, that I think something is missing from the house, that I think a sea bag is missing from the house. And then we also found out that there is allegedly some images showing a large lump over somebody's shoulder walking with it. The poll. Oh, we already know the answer to the poll. All right, what we got for the poll? We got almost 400. Let's just keep going. I got to let it tick through because I'm so far back on this thing that it just takes its time to catch up. So give me just a second. All right, I'm ending the poll now. Does UTI, this is what it says. It says, is UTI, which we know is the unscrupulous PI, the UTI of the case, really helping the stinky feet and the sour socks? And 62% believe he is, while 37%, so we have 2/3 of our audience that believes that he is helping them. And we got 1/3 of our audience that believes he is not helping them. And I have to say that I agree with both of those, right? I agree with both of those because he's helping them cover them up, but he's not doing a good job. So in my opinion, no matter how you answered that, you all were right. From where I sit, hey, Crime Stories, it's nice to see you. It's nice to see you, love. I hope you're doing well. We're about to close out. I'll have to catch up with you. One of these days, I'll get through my Messenger. I haven't been in Messenger in forever. So I know that that's how I communicate with you. So I'm sorry if I've missed any messages. I just haven't been over there in quite some time. So many nice people in here. Hi, y'all. Yes. And we brag about you here and there. I think you should get more people looking over there. So I told him to go sub up. So I hope that doesn't affect. I'm just joking. I was like, oh, that doesn't bother you. I'm sure you'll be welcoming. I've known Crime Stories Obsessed since pretty much being on this platform. She's always been so nice and gracious, even throughout all the nasty shit that was vile crap that was always being thrown and said about me. Still is, but it just doesn't have the same effect it did when it was first happening, right? So she's always been so kind and gracious. So hopefully you guys go over there and sub Crime Stories Obsessed up. She's great at what she does. Yes. So anyways, guys, I'm not going to bend your ear any longer. I love you guys. God bless each and every one of you. Thanks for participating in our fundraiser. Thank you for participating in the poll, and we will be back later this afternoon. I'm going to dive in. I'm still on the hunt. That's I have a one-track mind right now. So I try to find you guys stuff. If I find stuff as I'm looking through it, like I did yesterday with the leaked videos and the calls to really solidify. But I also got a new interview in today. So I'm really excited to review that in detail. And it's about 3 hours. So as soon as I go through that, I will, we'll probably play that video tomorrow and go through the commentary of that, or later this afternoon, once I
get the information reviewed. So anyways, guys, thanks so much for being here. I love you. God bless you. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. If you guys have questions or topics that you want to dive into a little deeper when it comes to either Trentin's case or Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers' case, please reach out to me at bullhornbetty@gmail.com. If you have a perspective, I'm reading a lot of stuff. You know, I know my audience is in a lot more places and listening to a lot more information than I'm able to listen to. So if you have questions or you have something that's very interesting in another show, send that to me where that information is in that show. And explain, you know, your interest in it. So maybe your interest is my interest and I cover it. So I'm just looking for other talking points that are interesting to my audience related to the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case. We'd only do this a few times a year whenever the case starts getting, there's no real information coming out right now. And until some bombshell information comes out, the bombshell information for me over the last few weeks is the 5 CPS reports, the rehoming all the way back, you know, trying to rehome, attempted rehoming all the way back to October 2022. The fact that Chris's truck may have been in the area between the 25th and the 26th prior to 1 p.m. Makes me very concerned, but those are revelations that are interesting. We've learned the exact time that the Uber driver, I got Columbia coffee for $25,000 an ounce. Oh my God. I don't even want to know what coffee like that tastes like. I don't even want to know. That's too pricey for my budget. That his truck or vehicle he was driving was in the area the night that Sebastian disappeared. And then, of course, the debunked video of these camera shots of what their PI thinks was the field of view when he was working with the homeowners and could have gotten the exact, which he stated he's had camera footage from them for a while. Did he not? So why didn't he just look at the camera footage, which would have had the evening and the daytime added to it, and just not misrepresent true facts? It just doesn't make sense. So if you need to get a hold of me, if you need to talk to me about this case or anything else, you can reach out to me at bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. Good morning, Rosemary. It's nice to see you, love. So hopefully that helps. They are all hiding the truth. I don't believe all of them. I don't believe Seth had anything to do with this. I think that Chris and Katie tried to get him in line, and he didn't feel right, and he felt something was wrong. And I feel like he stood on the truth. He stood on something ain't feeling right. So there is that. There is that. Anyways, guys, take care. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. God bless.
From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work, we will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you
advocating for each of these victims. God bless you, God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims.